This is Phil Lamar, and you are listening to the Geekcast Radio Network.
You've just jumped inside the pull bag. Join TFG1Mike and the rest of the comic reading crew here at the GCRN as they make their great escape into comics. From DC, Marvel, IDW, Boom Studios, Zenoscope, and more, we have everything you want to read right here. Transformers comics? Yeah, we cover that. He-Man? Yeah, sure. DC superheroes like Batman, Batgirl, Nightwing, and Batman Beyond? Yep, we have those too. How about TMNT from IDW and I Hate Fairyland from Image Comics? Yeah, we have all that here. Plus, so much more. It's all inside the pull bag here on the Geekcast Radio Network. So without any further ado, it's time to talk about the comics we are reading right now here inside the pull bag.
Say, Jarvis, is it that time?
The house party protocol, sir?
Correct.
Hello and welcome to the Pull Bag. This is episode 309. I am, of course, TFG1Mike. Joining me for the first or second time, I don't know how many times you've been on this show, if you've been on it at all, ever, but joining me from Talkin Bout My Generation, which sadly has some cobwebs on it, is Mr. Doug Abel. Hello, sir.
Hello, sir. I know I have been lax. I'm getting ready to relaunch, so we'll see what happens.
There you go. And we are here to talk about IDW Publishing's Funko Universe trade. This came out as like 5 or 6 one-shots, and then they collected it into a trade paperback. It includes Ghostbusters, TMNT, The X-Files, Strawberry Shortcake, and Judge Dredd. And for those of you who don't know what Funko is, just go over to Netflix and watch Making Fun, the story of Funko, because that's the documentary they have on there. I just finished watching that. It is so interesting looking at that. You really should watch that.
I kind of saw it the other day, and I was like, huh. And I wasn't sure I wanted to get into it just because I didn't have the time at the moment.
Yeah, it's like an hour and a half, almost 2 hours, something like that. But it's really, really fun. Basically, it chronicles their start up until, I think, like 2017, like late last year, middle of last year or something. But they like focus on like how the company started and how it continued to grow and that kind of a thing and whatever. It was very cool. I myself have 55 Funko Pops. 6 of those are my wife's. She has Anthony Rizzo from the Chicago Cubs, Allison from the Breakfast Club, Ali Sheedy's character, Chun-Li from Street Fighter, and what was the other ones? She has the Pop Pets. She has a Maine Coon cat because we have a Maine Coon cat, and she has a German Shepherd dog, and a couple other ones I forget off the top of my head. I have the rest, and they're like way too many to name. I will maybe put some pictures in the post of what my collection is, and this really, I mean, this has been a while. This has been like in the making here, but it's been probably about 2 years in the making. This is all Doug's fault, everybody.
Oh, God.
It's all your fault.
All because you saw them while you were out here.
Exactly. So I went out to California 2 years ago, spent some time with Doug and his wife, and they have God knows how many Funko Pops, and they're all over their apartment.
Okay, let me specify. They are not all over the apartment. There's probably, I want to say, 10 or 15 that are in the entryway right as you come in that are Star Wars related. Mm-hmm. And there are things like, I don't know if she has Slave Leia. I think she does. But she's got Leia. She's got Jabba. She's got Luke and Han. I think she might have gotten a Jawa. One of the little Jawa creatures. I don't remember. But, that's all just our Star Wars stuff in the entryway, which kind of blends with the rest of the Star Wars stuff that we have right there. If you go into our spare bedroom, she's got above the closet, she put a bunch of them up there, and she's got all of her Disney characters that she loves, for the most part, are Disney. Mm-hmm. She's got Tinkerbell, she's got Snow White, and I think she's got a couple of dwarves. Then she found some others that she was really like, I love these because they're kind of girl power type things, and I say that with love, mind you.
Right.
Things like Supergirl and Wonder Woman. Mm-hmm. Strong female type, which I am completely fine with. It's great, But she's got most of those. Me, on the other hand, I'm like Karen. I've got 6 of
Yeah,
mine.
yeah. Doug is like my wife, and I'm kind of like his wife at this point.
I've got B.A. Barack. I've got.
Yeah, I had to twist your arm into buying that.
I know.
You're like, oh, Alicia will never let me do this. Blah 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 blah. I'm like, I pity the fool that doesn't buy this Funko Pop. Like, seriously. And the crazy thing is, I now have Hannibal. I was actually waiting to eventually start and just buy all 4 of them together, but I found Hannibal somewhere. So anyway, Funko Pop, Funko Universe, the trade paperback from IDW, starts off with the Ghostbusters issue. I just love this. This is super, super funny.
It was goofy, but it was in a lovable way. We'll put it that way. That's how I felt about it.
Yeah.
You know?
The creative on this story is Troy Dye as the writer, artist Philip Murphy, colorist Luis Antonio Delgado, with letter was Neil Yucate. So basically, this artifact ends up being smashed open. These ghosts, this red version of Sub-Zero, comes out of here and whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a ninja that's all in red that looks just like Sub-Zero if he was red. Story consultant on this is Eric Burnham, because Eric Burnham does a lot of the Ghostbusters stuff at IDW. And we then go to Ghostbusters HQ, where Winston and Peter are playing Knights versus Cowboys, and somehow, some way, Peter tries to cheat and win and all of that. What do you think here of the of how the Funko Pop Ghostbusters look in a comic book form?
When I first looked at it, I was like, "Oh God, this looks stupid." When I first looked at it, and I kind of went, "Eh," and then it got, it just kind of grew on me. I'm like, "Okay, I got past that." That kind of initial, okay, it's not IDW's Ghostbusters. It's not what we've had for regular comics in the past.
Yeah.
And once I got past that, it's like, okay, it's a good story.
Yeah. If you look at the Ghostbusters here in the IDW Funko Universe comic, they're basically pretty much their movie versions. The original movie, the only movie that counts. The 1984 movie, if I have to really super specify it for everybody.
Well, that and Ghostbusters 2, so we'll live.
Yes. Yeah. But Ray looks like Ray. Peter looks like Peter. I mean, Egon virtually Harold Ramis, and obviously Winston, Ernie Hudson kind of a thing. I mean, even Janine looks just like,
Yeah, you like you'd expect for a Funko Pop character to look.
Yeah. So we have a ninja and a samurai. The ninja's in red, the samurai's in blue. And they are trying to figure out why they summoned each other, yada, 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 why the ninja summoned the samurai, and they have this giant battle, and they're like, oh, well, we're villains. We battle first, then we team up and beat the good guys. I do love when the Ghostbusters show up. This is great. It's like watching Black Belt Theater live, but with dead guys.
Yeah.
And without subtitles. Silence, Gaijin, be gone and let the adults talk. Talk to the gun. I love this. I love the art. I was not expecting too much of a story here.
It was actually a better story than I expected.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's either I think it's Peter or Ray. I think these guys look familiar. Now, where do I know them from? And, so they're fighting the samurai, they're fighting the ninja, they try to get him in the trap, and doesn't really quite work. I love the way the trap is designed. That is such a classic trap.
Yes.
So the ninja cuts the proton pack line, and that kind of, screws that up, and all of that, and then the ninja and the samurai guy kind of basically beat them all up. And they're like, sayonara, suckers. I knew it. Legend of the Four Masters, and it's basically the Four Masters. So there's 2 more guys that are coming out of these things, and they're eventually going to work together and become this one whole entity. And the Ghostbusters are going to try to figure out how to beat each of them individually as we go through this. I love how they have to all fly 2,000 miles. Egon, wake up! You're starting to drool, man. Not cool.
And that's a complete Peter line. I mean, that's something you would have expected. Not cool, man. Back up. I'm a Ghostbuster type thing.
Yep. And the fact that the ghosts are actually on the plane with them and they don't even know, because they specifically say, "I wonder how they'll get here." Like,
yeah.
Oh, silly. They're already here. And did you see what the bags are that the ghosts are carrying? They're pop bags.
Yes.
I love that detail. That's so funny. So we have the 3 ghosts going after the 4th ghost, and basically reaches down and pulls him out of the thing, and they all decide to work together, which means they all get to become one giant entity. That's not gonna be good.
Yeah, where have we heard this before?
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. And the ghosts beat them up pretty good. I mean, like, really good.
Yeah, well, should I mention how they, how things take a turn? That,
sure.
Ghostbusters cheat?
Of course they cheat. I love the design on the all-in-one form of the ghost here. I thought that was super cool.
Yes.
And then, Ray's like, whoa, talk about mixed martial arts. Ray or Peter. I often mix Ray and Peter up because one time one of them has I think the one who has the goggles on is Ray, but I always thought Peter had the darker hair. I don't know. I mix them up all the time.
With the Funko Pop stuff, it's kind of easy to mix them up, so it's not.
Yeah. Okay, Ray does have the goggles on, and Peter is the one with the brown hair because the panel where the ghost says, "Bow to your new master fleshlings, bow to Master Prime." I'm like, where's Optimus? And Egon's like, "No thanks." You see the smirk on Peter's face where all 4 of them are in that panel. That's Peter. So
yeah.
The one without the goggles is Peter there. And they try their best to defeat these ghosts, but they get other dead skeleton-looking pops together, and then they figure out, hey, let's cheat. Let's cheat like we all did at the game. And they basically, use all kinds of things to make them basically separate from each other, and they can't work together anymore, and the day is saved. Yay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much.
My favorite bit about the whole thing is at the very end when, who was it? Was it Ray? I'm trying to remember if it was Ray that shows up with the new board game and says, "Hey, I got a new board game that we can try and play."
No, it's Peter.
Okay.
It's Peter.
Yeah, just they're like, is there going to be more cheating involved?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And the crazy thing to me is, like, ninjas versus samurais, it's an expansion pack to our favorite game. The samurai on there looks like Shredder.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then at the end of it here, you have the Stay Puffed Funko Pop cover, which was really cool. The Ghostbusters one I really dug. I thought it was fun. I thought it was funny. I thought it kept the spirit of what the Ghostbusters are and what they do and how each of their personalities is. Like you said, the not cool drooling line from Winston probably could have come from Peter, but Winston had to have something to do because,
yeah,
let's face it, he didn't have much to do other than fire the proton pack or get the trip.
They had this, but they had to give the token black guy something to say.
Yeah. I would probably rank the Ghostbusters one 3.5 out of 5 stars, probably.
Yeah, that sounds about right for what I would give it to. I mean, it wasn't a super standout story, but again, it wasn't terrible either.
Mm-hmm. And now, folks, we head back to 1987 because it's time for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Says we're getting close.
Eyes open, Turtles. If I know Shredder, he's got a few more tricks up his pointed sleeve.
And like, here come a bunch of them now.
Sorry, no turtle waxing today. All right, we really wiped the floor with those floor wipers, huh?
Writer on this is Caleb Goliner. Artist is Nico Pena. Colorist is Rhonda Pattison. Letterer Sean Lee. Editor Bobby Curnow. I've interviewed Bobby like 2 or 3 times since Joe Reed and I have been doing the Turtles coverage for IDW. So the Turtles are out of food. They have no pizza. They have no frozen pizza. They have no cereal. They have no nothing. Donnie's like, oh, it's no big deal. I can just call for delivery. Everybody okay with lollipop, crawfish, and potato again?
And as soon as I heard that, I thought, oh, wow, this is just like the original
absolutely
cartoon series.
Yep. It's like, Choco Puffs for me on my pizza.
Yeah.
And Mikey comes in with a balanced breakfast is totally here. Rice shreddies.
Yeah, and I just looked at them like, oh, God.
We know exactly where this is coming, and they look just like throwing stars.
Yeah.
Mikey only bought it for the prize, though. I mean, this is so 1987. Because it's the exact, like, I would have my mom buy me a box of cereal if I just wanted the prize and not the cereal.
Well, and you know what's funny is, as I'm looking at it, all I could think of was Captain Crunch, because if you ever ate Captain Crunch dry, it would shred the top of your mouth. So that was all I was thinking about reading Shreddies.
Yep. And, yeah. So they decide to go topside, get some pizza, get some food, whatever. Master Splinter appears. My sons, where are you? Hey, Sensei, gotta get decoder ring. Be back soon. Sigh. And the rice shreddies are all over the layer and everything else. It's too funny. And we have classic 87 Shredder and Krang, along with the Foot Soldiers, Bebop and Rocksteady. The Foot Soldiers with their hairnets is like a little creepy, but
yeah,
you gotta be accurate, I guess.
Yeah. The one thing that bothered me about the artwork when I saw Krang in this was just because all the other characters have big heads in Funko Pop, and I see Krang, and he's like disproportionate to Shredder. It just looked really weird with how they did it.
Yeah, they're pretty much the same size, and he does have a big head, except obviously the big head is the robot part of him. It's not Krang's actual brain. It's not Krang himself. It's the robot body head. That's the big head.
It just looked a little weird. That's all.
What I do love, because if you remember, and I know you I don't know how often you go back and watch it, but I know you have the Turtle Van complete series set for the 87 TMNT cartoon. Look at the big head's facial features in this. Like, he's grinning, he's scowling, he's frowning, he's gritting his teeth. Looks just like what he would, like how Krang would have him react in the old cartoon series.
Oh yeah,
I love what they did with the writing here. This is by far the best written one out of all of these, I think, because it is so 87. Like, look at Bebop and Rocksteady. Munch, munch. I hate it when Crunch, Mom, and Dad fight. Shh, keep walking, or they'll humph, ask us to do something.
I love how they make mention of, hey, at least we didn't get into our own little separate storyline this time around.
Okay, there is nothing wrong with if you or anybody else that is listening to this podcast that has followed the IDW TMNT universe, you'll know There was Bebop and Rocksteady Destroy Everything. And now, I think currently going on, I could be wrong, I haven't kept up with it, but I think right now, or just a little while ago from when this was recorded, they've been doing Bebop and Rocksteady Hit the Road. I like that IDW can have the main ongoing and do all these miniseries like Casey and April, or the Mutanimals, or the individual character things they did, like heroes and villains, to spotlight one-shot stories for each of the heroes and villains kind of thing. I like that they're doing that. I like that they gave Bebop and Rocksteady their own kind of 2 different series in the comics. And you're right. It's a nice little nod here, and obviously because Bobby's editing it, it's going to be, there's all going to be nods to everything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I had to laugh at that. That was one thing just from recognizing the other stuff from IDW that was
absolutely
spot on.
Yeah, and then we get to the Turtles with Turtles in trench coats going to the cereal factory. Hello, are you the cereal makers? What? Something behind us? Slam.
Yeah.
Yep. And then, obviously, pull off the coats, reveal the turtles. I love that. Turtle power!
Oh.
And, great, from both Shredder and Krang. So they're all fighting. Shreddy, the Rice Shreddies are going everywhere. And it's basically this giant battle over cereal and over whatever. I don't even know. Did they... I mean, I know in 87 they didn't really have plans, and that's kind of the point here, is they don't really have a plan. They have, this master mind control plan, but it doesn't really ever go anywhere because,
Well, doesn't even Shredder point out, he's like, okay, so we're going to have all these things and give them out for mind control, but what are we going to do with it? And Krang says, I don't know, I haven't thought that far ahead yet.
Yeah, exactly. So it is very much 1987 series style, and I absolutely love that about it. I enjoy it. I think it's fun, but the Technodrome van thing, that was a little weird.
Yeah.
You either have the Technodrome or you don't have the Technodrome. I understand they're doing a fun little thing to go up against the Turtle van, but it was really weird.
Yeah, see Krang trying to drive it, and he can't see over the steering wheel. I'm like,
yep.
What?
Mm-hmm. And they almost run over Casey Jones, because Casey's a pop as well, and Scuzz Buckets! And, hey, the Turtles have to save April every time, right? Well, that happens too, because April's in the crosswalk. What in the world? April, sorry we didn't call you for brunch, but this city on a Saturday. Brunch? What are you guys even... Sorry, lights changing. We'll call you later. Yeah, and I love that, the end of that. There goes my exclusive. Stop talking to yourself, April. You're not on TV right now. So they got all this milk and everything else because Mikey just wanted a bunch of milk, apparently, which is kind of like how I am. I love drinking milk. Even now as an adult, I will drink the hell out of a milk. But they make a milk bomb because they're like, oh, it's going to be soggy cereal once the milk hits it. Hey, fellas, thirsty? So they throw the milk bomb in, basically foiling the whole plan. And not only does the cereal explode, the whole car explodes.
Yeah, okay, but whatever, we'll go with it.
Mm-hmm. And Mikey does eventually get his decoder ring. And it doesn't fit.
Yeah, because don't they say something about, well, hey, we should have tried it for the size of our fingers. We just have too big a finger or something.
Yep, absolutely. So Shredder and Krang finally come down, and Mikey's like, nothing but net, and they catch him, and pizza time, and it's kind of the end. I love this story. It's a fun story.
Yeah,
I wish this issue had more covers, more alternate, like at least 3 other alternate covers, because the alternate cover for this is basically the Michelangelo Funko Pop. But I wish it had the other 3 turtles as well. Turtles, it's cheesy, but it's supposed to be cheesy because let's face it, while the 87 series was where most of us all started. I mean, there are some people that I know that started reading the original comics. But for the most of us, it's where we started, and it was really good at the time. We absolutely loved it, although most people nowadays just feel like it's too full of cheese and whatever, but that's not a bad thing. That's the way the late 80s, mid-90s were. I love this. This, for me, is a 5. This story is so fun, because you don't... Like, comics today, there are a lot of fun comics out there, but there are a lot of serious comics out there, and something that can basically look at it and make fun of itself, that's super fun to me.
Yeah. I'm going to give this one, overall, if we're looking not just at storyline, but artwork and everything, I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5, and that's only because of the weird thing going on with Krang's head.
Yeah.
That's my only nitpick, you know.
Yeah. Up next, folks, we have the X-Files Funko Pop story. We're not going to go through this one panel by panel or anything because there's like 2 or 3 stories in here. I do love how it starts, you know. Agents Mulder and Scully, FBI, to believe or not to believe. And this first story is basically Mulder believing Scully trying to scientifically explain stuff away. And they eventually have this whole alien crash fight scene thing, which was funny.
Yeah.
You know what I wish this was? I wish this was Mars Attacks the X-Files or something. Like, I wish the aliens were the Mars Attacks aliens. That would be funny. Like, have the Mars Attacks aliens as Funko Pops. That would be cool.
And I could just see the whole thing with Scully going, they're not aliens, they're weather balloons.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Yep.
You know.
Exactly. There's I think there's like 3 stories here. The first story, like I said, is them trying, you know, each other him trying to make her believe, and her trying to have him, you know, look at it scientifically, which is funny. The next story is Escape from Space Mountain. Hey. Area 51.5, no trespassing. Underneath, no seriously, go away.
Yeah.
And we have this, you know, ninja-looking Funko Pop trying to sneak into Area 51 to find out all the secrets. Come to find out, it is Fox Mulder. And he basically meets up with an alien and has an alien adventure of his own. I thought this one was super fun. I'm the least bit of an X-Files fan. I watched like half of the first season when it came out years and years and years ago, but it was just never my thing. But these first 2 stories are just hilarious. The third and final story, I think, is a little strange, but what are your thoughts on the first 2 before we get into the third one?
Oh, I would say they're right along the same with yours. I like the fact that they were putting in more of a humorous take on the series, because the entire series with X-Files, I watched a couple of them, and it's more dark and more, this isn't real, and you kind of go, oh, this is creepy. Kind of had some of the episodes had this kind of horror factor to it.
Yeah, it did.
This just, hey, let's make fun of all that, and I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. The third story here is Sasquatch on the Set. I already know where this is going.
Yeah.
Just with that title, I already knew where this was going. But they, you know, Mulder and Scully run into this guy, gone squatching. Oh, God.
Yeah.
And they run into Bigfoot, and it's this whole thing. It's a really, really short story. Turns out it's a movie that's being shot, and I'm like, oh God, that's just too silly.
You know, it was very tongue-in-cheek, but at the same time, very predictable. not very memorable for me, unfortunately.
Yeah, it was a little strange. I did absolutely enjoy it, though. I enjoyed all three. I enjoyed the first two more than the last one, because the last one is it's essentially 4 pages. Yeah, it's 4 pages, and I'm not expecting, I get it. This is a collection of multiple, Ghostbusters, TMNT, X-Files, up next to Strawberry Shortcake here in a minute, so I get it. It's 6 stories or whatever it is, or 5 stories into one thing. So I get they're not going to spend too much time, but I would have rather have had more of the first 2 stories than had 4 pages of the third story.
Yeah.
I don't know. The alternate cover for this was the alien Funko Pop from X-Files, so that's kind of cool. And now we come to the one that Doug couldn't even finish.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had a hard time getting through this. I was just like, no, move on.
Strawberry Shortcake. Writer is Georgia Ball. Artist is Valentina Pinto. Letterer is Krista Meisner. Assistant editor is Chase Marriott. And editor is David Hedgecock. I've read Georgia Ball's writing before, not on Strawberry Shortcake. But I know that's what she's doing for IDW. But I've read her on Transformers Robots in Disguise, when they did that comic kind of a thing based off the animated series that they did in 2015 and whatever else. So this one was a little strange. Strawberry Shortcake and Raspberry Tart and all of their friends and enemies and yada yada yada, they're trying to get to this event, and the Purple Pie Man wants to stop them because he wants to be the best or whatever. What I like about this story, if you had actually were able to finish it, just the fun of it all. There's a point where she actually interacts with the sun, or the Purple Pie Man does, which I thought that was pretty funny. And then eventually, obviously, it's going to turn around. The Purple Pie Man's going to see the error of his ways because Strawberry Shortcake is going to try to help him and all of that. What I do love is the one scene where they're chasing him, or they're running up to him on the horse, amidst these purple trees with red apples. I'm like, cool, purple trees.
Wow, LSD drug trip.
Yep. So they eventually get to this. Kind of the end of this is they get to the thing, and the whole part of the story is Strawberry Shortcake is going to be a judge this year and not enter the contest, and she wants to be a fair judge, and everyone's trying to get her to like theirs more and have them be the winner. It's the standard, judging a contest kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Not that I would ever get any of the Strawberry Shortcake Funko Pops, but the cover, the alternate cover, is the Purple Pie Man and Berry Bird. I think that's kind of cool. So if I ever did, that would probably be the one that I would get, but I probably won't get any of those because it's just not my thing.
I will tell you this, and I would probably go out and get Strawberry Shortcake one if I ever saw it for Alicia. Part of the reason is that Hasbro came out with their re-release of Strawberry Shortcake 7 or 8 years ago at Comic-Con. It up for her, and so she still has it. And the thing, you open up the box, it still smells like strawberry.
Still smells like, yeah.
And she loves it. So it's like that. Okay, I might get it if I were to see it. It was on sale or something like that. But overall, for the comic, I could have cared less. I'm sorry.
So I have this website, and I'm sure everyone that's collecting Pops knows about this. The Pop Price Guide, poppriceguide.com, where it shows you what these Pops are worth and if any of them are for sale or whatever. And I just looked up Strawberry Shortcake. They do have a Purple Pie Man with the Berry Bird, so that is kind of cool. Yeah. All right, Strawberry Shortcake, I give it a 3 out of 5. It's not horrible. It's not like the worst thing in the world. but it's nice little fun. Again, what I see this trade as, it's marketed towards multiple types of fandoms. You've got the Ghostbusters, Turtles, Judge Dredd line of people like us. You've got the X-Files people. You've got the Strawberry Shortcake people. So it's pushing itself to multiple fandoms, which is kind of cool. And I really do hope that Funko and IDW do another one of these with other franchises. Like I would love to see, basically a rehash, a comic version of Home Alone with the Home Alone Pops, because I have Kevin, Harry, and Marv over on my shelf as Funko Pops from Home Alone.
Okay, I can see that happening. They get
that
out,
would be funny.
You know, now the Wet Bandits are going to go after Kevin again.
Yeah, that would be fun. What are you going to rate Strawberry Shortcake before we head to Mega City 1?
You know what? I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5, just because it wasn't terrible, but it was enough to where I couldn't get through the entire.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Last up is Judge Dredd. Judge Dredd has multiple stories in it. We start out with Crim's story. And we have this narrator narrating this thing, and we don't know who the narrator is at first. And Judge Dredd comes on the scene, and of course, I don't think of Carl Urban. I don't think of Dr. McCoy from the 2009 Star Trek movie. I think of...
I am the law.
I am the law. My first note on this, when I was writing notes down for these things, my first note was, I am the comic. I just think it's so funny. It really, really is. Yeah. Oh, boy. So, yeah, Judge Dredd in Funko Pop. The only thing I wish that was... And I know this is more of a 2000 AD thing. It's more of the comic version. I wish the outfit he was... Like, the helmet is spot on. Mm-hmm. But I wish the outfit, the green and the blue, were more darker. Like a dark blue and dark black. Kind of like how it was in the original 95 film. But I understand it's the way it looks like in the comic, and I understand that. That's fine. I have no problem with that whatsoever.
Yeah, it wasn't terrible. I kept looking at it and thinking, oh, the color is a little off, but okay.
Yeah. So he's up against this mutant bull or whatever it is, and I love I just love the back and forth amongst them. I think it's so funny. And obviously he fries the bull. What I love about this story is, I am the lawgiver, incendiary, lawgiver, flamethrower, they really do, because obviously they would have, between IDW and 2080, and I think it's IDW that's doing a new Judge Dredd series coming up soon.
Maybe.
I think. I could be wrong about that, though.
I don't know. For me, the narrator for this one, mm-hmm. And just the fact that the narrator all of a sudden, you see him there and he's talking about the bull, and the bull, he starts pointing out, well, he could, instead of fighting down with Judge Dredd, the bull decides to run off down the pathway that's clearly open, and see the bull guy kind of looking at it going, oh, hey, there's a path that's open over there. Okay, I think I'm going to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I would have to look into this more to make sure. I know IDW has published 83 issues, including 14 classics reprints, but I could have sworn... Yes, that's what it is. Judge Dredd goes under siege, a new comic series. That's what it is. And it is at IDW. Let's see. This summer, the law returns to comic book stores, and it's got something to say. Writer Mark Russell is behind a relaunch of IDW Publishing's Judge Dredd series. So, yeah, it's coming out this summer. I'll have to look and see if I can find an actual date somewhere, but it looks really, really cool. And I'm glad that IDW has that license. I think that's super fun for them. Yeah. Okay, so the funny thing about the camera thing, if you've ever seen Beast Machines, which was the sequel to Beast Wars.
Oh, actually, I have not.
Okay. So in Beast Machines, so at the end of Beast Wars, Transformers, they were all getting ready to go back to Cybertron. Megatron was captured. He was basically strapped to the outside of the ship, and they were all going to go back to Cybertron. Beast Machines picks up in almost a completely different CGI animation style. And Megatron has somehow, no one knows because no one can remember, taken over. Well, throughout the series, Megatron has multiple modes. His goal is to purge his organic mode. He wants to be all technological. At one point or another, his mind, his spark, gets stuck in a drone. The drone looks just like this one, somewhat. Like the page where Judge Dredd swats the thing and destroys it or whatever. Like, I'm like, hey, what's he doing to Megatron? Because it looks just like that from the Beast Machines cartoon series. And yeah, that was that story. We then go to a story of Judge Dredd having to find a little old lady's dog. Judge Dredd, all pupped up.
I love this story.
Why do you love this story?
It was just okay. It was stupid. I know, but I'm reading it, and of course he's like, "Does your dog like to climb?" And he's looking up there in the tree, and this toxic waste thing. All these things are surrounded saying, "Don't go in." All these signs, barbed wire, everything.
Do not enter. Danger. No trespassing. Unsafe.
Yeah.
And it's Judge Dredd. He's gonna go in anyway.
Well, yeah, I know that, but I mean, I'm looking up there, and I see the dog up in the tree, and I'm just like, one, what dog climbs trees? And just the whole absurdity of it. I couldn't help but laughing at the entire thing, and I'm like, okay, this is the Funko portion of it coming in versus versus the I Am the Law 2000 AD type stuff.
Oh, but you just wait, because. Oh, sorry, Judge. I am the law. And he points to his badge. Stomp, stomp, stomp. Yeah. Reading these stories, I hear nothing but Sylvester Stallone.
Oh, God, yes.
I love the Carl Urban movie, and I hope they eventually do another one at some point. But this is really meant to be the Sly Stallone version.
Yeah, I mean, I hear that. I hear Sly Stallone, but then I also hear Rob Schneider doing the "I Am the Law" impression every time, and it's horrible. I know, but I can't help but laugh and think about that.
Yeah, and so he does eventually get the dog back. I got your dog back, citizen. That's great, except that's not my dog. My little Norton climbed up to a park bench and was lying in the sun the entire time. And Judge Dredd's like, and you? Next time I see you, you better have a home, and you better have an owner, and you better have a license. Or it's off to the Mega City 1 Hound Pound with you. And he walks away, and the dog just kind of whimpers there. Well, are you coming along or not? Must be getting soft in my old age.
Yeah, that was last.
And then the final story, which I almost didn't get to before we started recording this episode. Judge Dredd and Pug Dredd. Oh my god.
Yes.
Oh my god. Matters of life and death. The writer on this is John Layman. Oh my god, the writer. Oh my god. That's awesome. Artist is Francisco Gaston. Colorist Wes D. Zoba. Letterer is Sean Lee. Editors Denton J. Tipton and Bobby Curnow. Very cool. So this one, basically, the law doesn't run from zombies. So, are they... Oh no, zombies... Yes, zombies came out. I thought they were making fun of the Comic-Con zombie walk, and they kind of are.
Yeah.
But I didn't notice at first that the zombies came out of this purple portal. and tell me exactly. You citizen, stop right there and tell me exactly what happened. It was terrible, Judge. What was terrible? It was just sitting. I was just sitting there, videoing the Hollow News when there was this strange crackling noise, black light that opened up in the middle of nowhere, some sort of interdimensional doorway, I reckon. And then from out of the doorway, the Dark Judges emerged. Judge Fire, Judge Fear, and Judge Death. Okay, I assume this is a take on evil judges and Judge Mortis. I assume I have never read the 2000 AD comics. I wish I had at this point. I know of Dark Judges. Go ahead.
I thought, when I first saw it, my first thought was, okay, they're making a reference to, like, the Four Horsemen or something like that.
Yeah.
War, famine, pestilence, death.
Yeah.
Okay, I can kind of see that, but, you know, let's see where this is going to go, see if it's going to be down that path, horrible, or whether they're going to pull it out. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. So it's basically Judge Dredd versus these Dark Judges, and these Dark Judges basically destroy humans, and again, the law doesn't run from zombies or Dark Judges. I can see the Dark Judges with my psi powers, Dredd. Oh, is this the chick from the Carl Urban movie?
I think so.
I think so, yeah.
It's been a while since I've seen the Carl Urban version, so I don't remember off the top.
Yeah, I think it is, yeah. This story was a little weird. I enjoyed it, but it was a little strange.
Yeah.
I love the artwork in it. I'm not usually a fan of, like, blood, guts, gore, all kinds of weird things, but just the Funko poppiness of it all. Like the one panel where, look, it's working. The reversal ray is turning the zombies back to normal. Like, just seeing the half zombie, half human face kind of thing. That's okay. It's kind of funny. And they actually turn all the Dark Judges into the Love Judges. Judge Rainbow, Judge Happy, Judge Flower, and Judge Sunshine.
And I gotta admit, that I thought was just a little too corny.
Yeah.
Okay, you've gone too far.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The law doesn't run from hugs. Oh, God.
Yeah.
I do love that the Judge Dredd Funko Pop box with him in there is the one of the alternate covers. The Judge Dredd stories, I liked them. I thought they were fun. I haven't read the Judge Dredd comics at all. I want to. I might be checking out the new series coming from IDW this summer. I don't know yet. This one, 3.5. I mean, I'm being fairly positive with these because they're all in fun. Yeah, the Strawberry Shortcake one was a little hard to swallow because that was some burnt shortcake there, but I mean, other than that, they're all supposed to be super fun.
Yeah, and I'll probably give it about a 3.5 as well, overall. Because, the Judge Dredd stuff was corny as all hell, but it was still funny. You know, the Ghostbusters one was great. The TMNT one was spot on, you know, didn't have the plot, and they admitted to it, at the very beginning of it with it, you know, going back and forth with, what are we going to do once we get the mind control? I haven't thought that far ahead. You know, great. And it was spot on. But the Strawberry Shortcake, like you said, that kind of killed down a little bit for me. The X-Files were up and down. They weren't great, but they weren't horrible either.
Right, yeah. The only thing I wish, so after that final Dredd story, they go through all the rest of the alternate covers for the things. And at the very end, right after the Judge Dredd alternate cover, they have a super splash page of Judge Dredd Funko Pop, like, hitting, like, the guy or whatever. Then they have Stay Puffed with the Samurai Ghost. They have, I assume, Peter and Slimer. But they don't have anything for Turtles or X-Files. And I'm like, oh, come on, really?
That they should have put in something for those other ones as well.
Yeah, really. It's just silly. Overall, though, I absolutely love this trade. I thought it was super fun. Yes, there are a couple of stories that are, whatever. But other than that, I really dug this. Like I said before, I hope they do this again and do more one-shots. Like I said, with other franchise, like, can you imagine? This might be, and I have nothing against it. I'm not into it at all. Can you imagine? Because I know they have these, like a Saga Funko Pop comic from IDW. Because I know Saga is over at Image for the most part. I think it's an Image series, isn't it? I don't know. Anyway, or The Walking Dead. Imagine The Walking Dead Funko Pops. Like, seriously. That would be super fun. I've already seen
it, but I mean, trying to put a comic together on that, I'd be like,
Yeah. You could easily do the Breakfast Club, though. What's crazy to me is when I was looking for the Breakfast Club Pops, like, at the time, Bender was going for like $90 for his Funko Pop. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Come on. Yeah. Oh, God. They actually did, since we're talking about this, and we have The Incredibles 2 that just came out this past weekend. They actually did do a Edna Mode pop, but that was back when it was Disney. And looking on the pop price guide, she goes for like $900. I'm like, oh God! I showed that to Karen. She's like, what?
There's certain things. I'm sorry. I'm getting to the point where it's like, I'm buying these things. I'm buying pop figures. If I'm buying them, it's for fun. It's not for collectability. Because, okay, they may say that they're $900 worth. I have to find somebody who's got $900 who's willing to buy it from me.
Yeah.
Sell it. I have not found that person yet.
Yeah. No.
If there's somebody who has $900 to throw at a Funko Pop, please let me know. I'll be happy to sell you some of mine.
Yeah. It's just crazy. Yeah, like I wanted one of the alternate Batman. Like they have two Batman Beyond Pops. One is a metallic one, the other one is a regular one. The metallic one, according to this, is estimated value at $85. And it's just an estimated value, whatever. I mean, if I can find it, I can find it. If I can, I can. Like, that's the thing, like you said. I'm only doing this to have fun collecting them. And, like, I've got several pictures in the Funko Pop album on Facebook that I have where it's like, Marvin, the Wet Bandits versus Hetfield and Lars from Metallica or something. Just like fun little pictorial things. Like, I'm not collecting these things to eventually make millions of dollars on them later. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, if you're thinking you're going to pay for your son or your daughter's college fund with these things, you got another thought coming. I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
It's Beanie Babies all over again. That's all I can think of.
Oh, God, no. Do not say that. Please do not say that. Have
you seen Beanie Babies lately?
No.
Big eyes. They look very similar.
Mm-hmm. What I love are the various versions they can do of the characters. Like, there's a Arkham Asylum detective mode for Batman. There's like a rainbow Batman to promote, what was it? It was like all inclusive kind of Batman rainbow kind of thing. Like, I love when they do stuff like that. I think that's super cool. And most of these things aren't going for a lot at all. Like, Black Chrome Batman. Okay, that's a super special one. It's like going for $50.
Yeah,
that's fine. But like the Entertainment Earth exclusive rainbow purple Batman that I wanted, it's $10. Like, I mean, that's not bad. Like, there's a Batman Golden Midas that's $18. Like, I'm not paying more than, unless it's something super special, I'm not paying more than $20 per pop. I want to pay less than that.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think I paid because Alicia has Mr. Snuffleupagus. I think we paid $30 for that.
Yeah, And again, like specialty thing like that, I could see because isn't he bigger than everything else?
Yes, he's like twice as big as the others. So I went, I'll pay you extra for it because it is bigger. But you know, am I going to pay $150 for it? No, I'm sorry, no. You know.
Yeah, the ones that I've wanted since being out there in California, the two that I've really wanted, maybe three, is Roger, Jessica, and Judge Doom from Roger Rabbit. They have a Roger and Jessica 2-pack, but it's like its estimated value is $70. They've got two of Jessica for sale, but she's $25, which is okay, whatever. And they've got one of Judge Doom, which he's $34. Judge Doom is the most expensive one out of the three. Roger is $33, and it doesn't say that there's anything that are available on here. So I don't know, man. It's crazy.
I know there's a lot of people that are Jessica fans just because of nastiness and all that. You know,
But everyone should check out the IDW Publishing Funko Universe trade paperback. I will post the link in the show notes for the Comixology trade paperback so you guys can purchase it if you would like on your Comixology accounts. It's super fun.
Yeah. I mean, it's worth it. If you're going to get digital, it's worth it.
Yep. Absolutely. So, coming up next time here inside the Pull Bag, before we let Doug promote anything he's got coming up, we've got episode 310 coming up, and that's going to be our return to the Xenoscope entertainment coverage. JT from Saskatoon is going to be joining me once again. This is his first time on the Xenoscope Grimm Fairy Tales universe stuff. We're going to be talking about the 6 issues that make up the Xenoscope 10th anniversary one-shots. It's Alice in Wonderland, Snow White and the Snow White, Red Riding Hood, Death, Van Helsing, and Cinderella. So that's coming up next. What have you got going on, sir? You've been your generation is essentially dead.
Well, okay. I've been doing a lot of things off the computer. I've actually been very popular with website. Anybody who is familiar with RC planes and RC vehicles, Mike, as you know, the RC bug kind of bit me hard last we're out here. I've been flying quads lately. I've been flying planes, and I've been actually very vocal on FlightTest.com, which I'm going to kind of talk about that once we get to launch my relaunch, Talkin Bout My Generation. Something I want to share with everybody because this is a really cool thing that happened. And Mike, I don't know if you saw it on my Facebook, but Flight Test, what they do, their whole policy is to try to get people involved as families, as kids, as adults, try to get people involved in RC planes and RC flight for as cheaply as possible because it has been a very expensive industry, and they want people to get into the hobby. So what they've been doing is they've been building planes out of foam board. And
oh wow.
So I've learned to build all sorts of planes. I have built the Sea Duck. So,
yes, you have. I noticed that one.
Okay, Tailspin's Sea Duck, and I love flying this thing. It's just like I every time I'm flying it, all I can think of is thinking Tailspin. I can't help it. But at any rate, they were nice enough. A couple weeks ago, they have actually sent me a plane because they were so happy with the fact that I was promoting Flight Test and helping people out and getting them into the hobby. They've sent me a plane, and I want to say thank you to them. Flight Test. That's a very big thing to me. If you are interested in it, go check out FlightTest.com. Check out their YouTube channels. These guys do some hilarious things with planes. They recently made a IKEA chair fly in 6 hours.
Oh my god!
You should see it. They take carbon fiber rods and they take cardboard and they take an actual chair they went out and bought from IKEA, and they connect motors and servos up to it and everything, and they get the chair flying. And you think that ain't gonna fly? It's a chair. It's not gonna fly. And they get it to fly. They bring it around outside of their complex and they bring it and they land it again. These guys do all sorts of crazy things. They take cinder blocks and fly. They have a microwave. They fly and they pop flying the microwave.
Wow.
Like, the other favorite one that I've had so far is they've taken a Little Tykes car, which I'm sure all of you know what they look like, the orange and yellow things. They strapped wings onto it and had that flying for one episode. So these guys, I love them, and that's kind of my thing, and I'll stop now going off on my rant.
Awesome. Where can people find you online, sir?
Well, I am actually getting ready to relaunch the Talkin Bout My Generation podcast. That will be at mygenerationpodcast.com. You can also find me on Twitter at SPRZOUT.
Still haven't changed that, have you?
No, I have not, and I'm going to keep it now because Flight Test people know me as that.
All right, you can find me at TFG1Mike. You can follow at the Pullbag for all that great stuff on Twitter at Geekcast Radio as well. If you've noticed, folks, in the last couple of weeks, last couple episodes, we've got a new intro and outro from Steve Megatron. So we're going to let him close the show right about now.
You've just heard the latest episode of The Pullbag, the GCRN's first comic review and discussion podcast. There are several ways to get in touch with us and leave feedback for the show. You can visit the website, geekcastradio.com, where you can comment on the episode and all of our different podcasts. You can rate and leave a review for the show on iTunes. Be sure to leave us feedback. Become a fan of us on Facebook, facebook.com/thepullbag. Send us an email, feedback at geekcastradio.com. Follow us on Twitter at thepullbag and at geekcastradio. So until next time, make your great escape into comics and unleash the geek in you.